Why quit sugar? Did you know the average American consumes over 17 teaspoons of sugar a day? That's more than triple the recommended amount. And it's stealing your energy, your peace, and your purpose, and it's keeping you overweight or maybe even obese, like it did for me. What if I told you that quitting sugar, cutting it out of my way of eating, changed everything for me? Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Christine Trimpe, and I used to be stuck in a vicious cycle of sugar cravings, yo-yo dieting, fatigue, and frustration until I quit sugar. In this video, I'm sharing exactly why I did it, how I overcame my sugar addiction, and how you can begin your own freedom journey to better health too. And plus, sparked by one of my client wins today, I want to share with you 5 surprising benefits about quitting sugar. And these are things I often forget to talk about. Before we begin, please note that I am not a healthcare provider. I am just a blessed gal who quit sugar, crushed my sugar cravings, and claimed weight loss victory once and forever. And I want the same for you, which is why I quit my 32-year corporate career in accountancy to become a certified Christian health and wellness coach, a sugar licensed practitioner, author, and a speaker, all to serve you. What I'm about to share is from my personal experience and is not medical advice. When I talk about sugar, I'm referring to the sweet stuff and the savory stuff. Those foods that are high in carbohydrates that your body digests as sugar and keeps you trapped in a sugar-burning state of living, so you're unable to burn fat for fuel, which isn't that what we all want, ladies? So stick around because I'm going to tell you why quitting sugar has changed my life and these 5 surprising benefits that you don't want to miss today. Sugar wasn't just a treat, it was a trap. I couldn't go a single day without something sweet or something savory. Let me tell you, potato chips were my favorite thing. Potato chips are sugar. And I often justified it as normal. Lots of coffee creamer in the morning, granola bars here and there, a little chocolate after dinner, and then after the chocolate, I needed something salty, so maybe a bowl of chips. But what that led me to was a constant state of exhaustion, brain fog, chronic pain, emotional spiraling, and not to mention morbid obesity, being 100 pounds overweight. I was using sugar to cope with stress, grief, boredom, and my health kept declining physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And I knew deep down, something in my heart, I knew deep in my heart that something needed to change. The big why as to why I quit sugar was because of the mounting chronic health issues. I was living with aches and pains every day. I was chronically exhausted. I had been diagnosed with pre-diabetes. I had been told by doctors that I was insulin resistant and had metabolic syndrome. And the closer I got to my turning point, I began having other issues like painful ovarian cyst. And then I was diagnosed with fatty liver disease, which really was my wake-up call. I learned that my liver was full of fat because of my diet that was high in carbohydrates. And even when I was eating healthy, my diet was still high in carbohydrates with things like whole wheat bread, whole wheat pasta, potatoes, things that you typically would find on a standard American dietary program. But once I learned I had fatty liver disease, I did a deep dive. I went down many rabbit holes and I started educating myself. I learned that sugar is a major hormone disruptor. I also studied the way I was eating and learned that there are hidden sugars in everything. I began reading labels. I cleaned out my pantry. And eventually I leaned into a low carb lifestyle or a ketogenic lifestyle, which I now fondly call the sugar-freed lifestyle. And that began to transform my life in ways I never expected. Because after yo-yo dieting for 30 years, I never thought I would get to a healthy weight. But enter in my sugar-free way of eating and everything changed. Also, it's really important for me to share that I invited the Lord finally into this process after not considering doing such a thing for 30 long years of yo-yo dieting. I thought it was something that I had to control. I didn't think God cared about the way I cared about my health, but I was oh so wrong. So I invited the Lord into this process. I began praying through the cravings. I began praying for results. I began journaling my feelings. And I asked him to help me honor him, to steward my body well. I showed up daily in my wellness communities for accountability. And I replaced old habits with better ones. I always say that small habits build and deliver big results, and that's one of my main coaching philosophies now. Habit stacking with things like choosing whole and healthy nutritious foods, like walking, like fasting, and faith-based journaling, and spending time, most importantly, in God's Word first thing every single day is the thing that truly transformed my life. My breakthrough finally came when I realized I wasn't just giving up sugar, I was gaining my life back. One morning, after about 10 days in my new ketogenic lifestyle, life without sugar, the sweet stuff, and the savory stuff, I woke up feeling so different. I remember sitting at the dining room table telling my husband, something odd is going on. I had so much mental clarity and so much energy. I felt like I was bouncing off the walls. I began doing things like chores I never wanted to do, like cleaning out the junk drawers, cleaning out the linen closet. I was getting so much done, and I was just feeling so much better physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Physically, I was having no more aches, and the weight was burning off. Emotionally, I was not on a roller coaster of emotions and coping with food. And spiritually, I was having a new understanding of what Jesus means when he says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." And it finally hit me that I had been craving this peace, this joy, this food serenity all of these years. And this was the freedom that I was craving all along. We could talk all day about cravings. I really believe that it is the root of our issues, ladies, the root of our weight loss issues, our weight loss struggles, those many years that we spend wandering in what I call wandering in the weight loss woes. And I do address cravings in my book, Sugar-Freed, Stop Losing the Weight Loss Battle, Start Gaining the Victory. In fact, I have a free chapter excerpt for you called Craving All the Wrong Things. There'll be a link below in the video description that you could grab this chapter excerpt, and so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, how there is so much more to talk about cravings. So I hope you'll grab a copy of that chapter down below. So from those days forward, when I first adopted the sugar-free way of eating, I wasn't just quitting sugar. I was choosing joy, energy, health, and living my life out fully surrendered to how Christ calls us to care for our body. Since quitting sugar, I've lost 100 pounds and have maintained a healthy weight for 7 years now. Isn't that crazy? 7 years now. And I've reversed all those chronic symptoms that I mentioned earlier. But most importantly, I've discovered how to live full and freely. And if I can do it, so can you. Before I wrap up this video, I hope I've already encouraged you, but I want to share 5 quick highlights of very surprising benefits that I realized when I adopted my sugar-free lifestyle. I've talked about these 5 benefits before, but one of my coaching clients this morning shared a win in our private Facebook community, and she testified that she realizes now that her nightly acid reflux is gone. And I assured her that is an expected result, and isn't that a wonderful benefit of the sugar-free lifestyle? So one thing is, that's another chronic issue that you can reverse, is acid reflux. Another amazing benefit that I experienced very shortly after quitting sugar was no more daily headaches and no monthly migraines. I used to get daily headaches, which I now think were probably part of the sugar rebound, my diet high in carbohydrates. I also lived on Excedrin, almost daily for these headaches. And once I quit sugar, those headaches ceased and my monthly migraines ceased. That sugar was having an impact on those issues as well too. So it was really wonderful to be stepping out each day and not having to deal with headaches anymore. Another surprising benefit, let's see, this will be the third one, was that my skin cleared up. I used to get a cystic acne outbreak monthly with my cycle on my chin. Like I would get these big, huge pimples that were so sore and they hurt. I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about, but they were painful. And as soon as I got off sugar, those never appeared again. So that was amazing. A fourth amazing and surprising benefit that I never ever went into weight loss thinking this would happen, but my mood regulated. I was no longer a moody, crabby person. In fact, I began experiencing what joy truly is. Despite my difficulties or despite the best days that I'm having, I can still maintain this level of joy in my heart because I just feel so much better. And having the joy of the Lord in your heart is not something you could keep to yourself. So that's why I love to share about how I'm no longer a moody person and my kids no longer call me Krabby Patty, which is a bonus. And the fifth amazing benefit, this is for you, my sisters, as believers. It has really grounded me spiritually to show up every single day and surrender my past issues to the Lord. My health was mostly self-sabotage, okay? A lot of it did have to do with the failed dietary advice that I'd been given for so many years. But honestly, it might not have been entirely my fault because of that poor dietary advice, but I did take entire responsibility for it. And so I began showing up first thing every single morning and surrendering this to the Lord. And every day, part of my prayer is to ask the Lord to help me crave well. Again, I talk about cravings in my book. Be sure you grab that chapter excerpt below, Craving All the Wrong Things. Every day I ask the Lord to help me crave so that I can choose well, so I can make good choices on how I'm nourishing my body and my mind. We have to be careful about what we're putting into our mind as well. And so I crave well, I choose well, and then I care well. And not only do I care well for my body, the temple of the Holy Spirit, but it helps me care well for others like you. And that's why I'm here to share. So those are just 5 amazing, surprising benefits that I never stepped into a weight loss journey thinking I would experience any of that, but it has all completely changed my life. The physical changes have been amazing and a sense of freedom. The emotional and spiritual have been deeply meaningful. And again, I want the same for you. So if sugar has a grip on your life, you're not alone. If you are a sugar addict, a carbohydrate addict, a food addict, you're not alone. You're never alone. And also, I want to encourage you and tell you that you're not stuck. You don't have to stay stuck here. I want you to drop a comment below and let me know what is your biggest sugar struggle, or share a success story below if you're watching this and you are gaining success over this battle with sugar. Tell me below your answer to why quit sugar. I'd love to read your comments. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment below, and check out my other videos for tips on faith-based health, low-carb living, finding peace in your wellness journey, and embracing and celebrating the sugar-free way of life. I hope I've encouraged you today to answer the question, why quit sugar? Bye for now.